You ever meet someone who laughs at the wrong moment and think, how are they so calm? Or watch someone smile through chaos and feel both relieved and uneasy? There's usually a reason. A deep-lived reason. These people have been through too much. Not small hurts, not teenage embarrassments. Real storms that rewired the way they process the world. Picture this. Someone cuts them off in traffic. Most of us bristle. They tilt their head and worry instead. Not about themselves, about the other driver. Maybe that driver is late for a hospital. Maybe they're distracted. Maybe something worse. This is not naivety. It's a habit the brain learned to soften danger. When you have survived your own storms, other people's rain looks different. Their brain runs on strategies built for survival. It's not broken. It's trained by necessity. The same system that helped them get through a traumatic event keeps firing, even when the immediate threat is gone. That persistence shows up in ways that seem paradoxical. They can also seem almost immune to calamity, not to pain, to being completely shattered by it. They learned how to rebuild while still standing. That learning becomes confidence. And from the outside, confidence can look like indifference. It can look like strength. But the truth beneath is more complicated. What follows is one of the clearest gifts of trauma: heightened empathy. People who have suffered are often profoundly attuned to others. They recognize sadness by tone. They read fatigue in posture. They notice the micro-frowns that most of us miss. That attunement is not sympathy alone. It's experience translated into a language of care. They notice silence the way others notice noise. Silence has texture. It can be tight, flat, crowded, hollow. They learn what each feels like because they have lived through many kinds. So they show up differently, quietly, intentionally. They know how to check in without pressuring. They know how to ask, "Are you okay?" in a way that leaves space open. This sensitivity can become a superpower, but it comes with cost. The nervous system that tunes into danger doesn't always switch off. Hypervigilance is common. They plan extra routes. They choose seats facing the door. They carry backup plans for simple afternoons. These are not quirks. They are safety habits formed by hard lessons. There's also a strange relationship with control. They micromanage the small things. They obsess over a clean kitchen or which mug to use. At the same time, they may appear shockingly casual about major uncertainties. Why? Because the brain learned early that some battles cannot be fought, so it wins the ones it can. The result looks like paradox. It is paradox. They hold opposites comfortably, tough and tender, wary and wildly generous. Humor often becomes their tool, dark humor especially. Jokes about pain do important work. They take power away from suffering. A laugh can slice the grip that fear and shame hold. Comedy becomes a shield. It softens memory. It builds distance. There is bravery in that laughter, not the absence of sorrow. The refusal to let sorrow be the last word. There is another truth that rarely gets named. These people downplay their own pain. A lot. It wasn't that bad. Others have it worse. I'm fine. Those phrases are survival speech. Admitting vulnerability once had penalties, so they learned to hide it. That makes asking for help complicated. The person most likely to notice your hurt is often the least likely to ask for help when they hurt. This plays out in relationships. They can be fiercely loyal and deeply distant at the same time. They'll show up at 3 a.m. without a question. But ask them to share a need and suddenly schedules are full. Why? History taught them that closeness sometimes came with harm. Attachment felt dangerous. Their nervous system prepares for disappointment long before it happens. So they hold people close with one hand and keep the other at the ready. That strategy keeps them safe. It also keeps them lonely. Needing nobody looks like strength until you see the hollow it leaves. They crave connection but fear the cost of dependence. They want trust but have learned to measure it in tiny, cautious steps. These contradictions are not flaws. They are protective patterns. There is grieving in this life, not always the kind we name. Not only grief for a lost person, but grief for a lost self. They grieve the childhood that never felt safe. They miss the version of themselves who trusted easily, who didn't check a room before smiling. They're homesick for a place that only existed as potential. That grief is quiet and persistent. It does not always break them. It reshapes them. That reshaping brings something valuable. Post-traumatic growth is a real phenomenon. Many people who survive trauma report stronger relationships, clearer values, and deeper appreciation for small joys. A sunset can feel devastatingly beautiful. A good cup of coffee can feel like luxury. They become connoisseurs of ordinary grace. That's not sentimentality. It's awareness distilled from hardship. At the same time, there's an element of embodied memory. Their body keeps score. tension in the neck, a flinch at sudden touch, a stomach knot before a meeting. These are not signs of weakness. They are archives. The nervous system stores what words cannot always hold. Concepts like window of tolerance and somatic memory help explain this. When the window narrows, small triggers can feel enormous. The aim of healing is not to erase the past. It is to expand the window so the person can live with more ease. How do you be with someone who has been through too much? There are small practical things that matter more than any grand gesture. Make safety predictable. Keep plans simple and reliable. Let them know times and places ahead of time. Be consistent. Trust grows in repeated small proofs. Validate without fixing. You don't need to solve their pain to make it less raw. Acknowledge it. Sit with it. Respect boundaries. When they say, "I need space," give it without judgment. Offer help gently. Ask, "What would be helpful right now?" rather than assuming. Therapy can help too. Approaches that honor the body and attachment patterns are often useful. Somatic therapies, trauma-informed CBT, EMDR, and dialectical skills can expand capacity. The key is safety. Change happens fastest when the person feels safe enough to experiment with new ways of being. Now about their strengths. Don't mistake hypervigilance for paranoia. Don't confuse guardedness with lack of warmth. These people carry a rare kind of wisdom. They can see details others miss. They remember small kindnesses the way others remember big events. They know how to hold grief without being consumed by it. They can navigate emotional storms and still find someone to help. They can also teach us something essential. Pain can be converted into insight. Surviving can become a teacher, not a sentence. Their survival often offers the clearest lessons about resilience, not the fairy tale of invulnerability, a quieter truth. Resilience is not bouncing back to who you were. It's rebuilding a new self with some pieces missing and some pieces stronger. There are moments when their paradox becomes luminous. At a party, they'll be the one telling a joke from the corner while quietly checking on the person who looks alone. They'll be the one who sets a boundary with grace. They'll be the one who remembers an anniversary that no one else did. Their intensity can be exhausting. Their loyalty can be sacred. They are complicated because life made them that way. Be patient with them. That patience is not indulgence. It is recognition. Recognize that their calm can hide fatigue. Recognize that their laughter can hide scars. If you are close to someone like this, learn to ask simple questions. Is this a safe topic? Would you like help? Do you want me to listen or to act? These questions matter more than any attempt to fix them. And if that person is you, give yourself permission to be both healed and grieving at once. Allow contradictions. You can be trusting in some relationships and cautious in others. You can laugh and need support later. You can cherish freedom and still plan meticulously. These are not indicators of failure. They are your coping system evolving. One last thing. When people who have been through too much shine, they do so because they remember the dark. A lighthouse is not pristine. It has weathered storms. It shines because it learned the shape of night, the compassion you see, the humor that arrives like a sudden sun, the fierce protection for those they love. These are not accidents. They are the byproducts of a life that refused to end in pain alone. If you meet someone who seems comfortable with chaos, who jokes where others would panic, who sometimes pulls back when you ask them to lean in, know this. They have earned everything they carry. Their boundaries are scars and armor and wisdom. Their laughter is a small revolt against the past. Treat that with curiosity. Treat that with care. There is grace in surviving too much. There is courage in staying open anyway. And there is a kind of rare beauty in people who live with both sorrow and hope at once. Be gentle with them. And if you are one of them, be gentle with yourself. You are not broken. You are formed. You are standing. You are teaching us how to navigate the weather.